Caddis Maximus here, this time with a review of the Harbor Freight wireless spy camera detector. And this is a pretty gimmicky little device. It is actually not quote unquote fraudulent. It is not false in what they're advertising for it. But they're just really poorly made and work really inconsistently. So this is actually not something that I picked up at Harbor Freight. Imagine that. This I noticed at a thrift store. Is in one of the little glass cases, although it was only $3. Harbor Freight normal price I think charges $15 for it, and it is just pretty absurd. So the whole idea of this thing is supposed to beep and flash a green light when you get near a radio signal that's between 20 megahertz and 3 gigahertz, which is, the range of a lot of walkie-talkies and wireless security cameras, that kind of thing. I think the idea of this is because, you read all those articles and stuff about hidden cameras and Airbnbs and those types of things, is that you would get a little device like this, turn it on, and then walk around and see if it goes off and try to see if you're being spied on, if there's a wireless camera that isn't obvious. Just like that. So this is actually triggering because of the cell phone, and the cell phones operate in 800, 900 megahertz range. What I have found is true as the poor reviews have said. You have to be extremely close. This will only trigger on the cell phones if I'm within about 2 feet. The second thing is it beeps at just one constant rate. It doesn't even have the feature where it will beep faster when you get closer to the signal. So it will beep and you won't really have much of an idea besides the fact that you're 2 or 3 feet away from something. They also get a lot of false positives. I've left this out in the middle of the room and it's just decided to beep. Really kind of odd. And really what they're trying to do, there are much better, much more expensive units like these online. And that's really what you need to have one of these little radio detectors. This also doesn't work on the 5 gigahertz band, which is, if you have dual band wireless, 5 gigahertz is the higher frequency range, and you do want that too if you're going to have a bug detector. So this gives this thing a pass. It's really just kind of cheesy. They have a built-in flashlight, which oddly does not work when it's turned on. Little red low battery light. I suppose the flashlight is to help you find or look inside things once it beeps. The best thing I can think of. Too bad it doesn't work at the same time it's beeping. But it doesn't matter because it's not like it would beep faster when you got close to the device. Anyway, I'm going to open this up just so we can take a look at the circuit. Maybe there's a sensitivity adjustment. But otherwise, for $15, it's an awful lot of money for something that really doesn't do anything besides beep when it occasionally a radio signal of sufficient strength happens to hit it. If they had the sensitivity up higher, it'd probably be just beeping all the time. And so they have it set it down really low, which is, not very useful. Because if you have to be within 2 feet of anything, you're going to see where any kind of device might be, located if it's buried inside a picture or a planter or something. Because I don't see why, you would use something like this otherwise. I thought it was kind of a neat idea when I picked it up, but my goodness, for Harbor Freight chargers on the shelf, this is probably one of their most insane products in a bad way. I mean, they sell a lot of crazy, and over the years they have, but this thing is just is like a cash cow. It probably cost them 50 cents. All sorts of reviews of the beeper speaker and stuff not working. What do we have inside here? We have our little piezo tweeter. Does this thing just pop out? No, we got 2 more little screws here. Even for $3, I'm disappointed on this thing because it's basically useless. Kind of like one of those ultrasonic distance measurers, although those do work accurately if you're parallel to a flat surface. Otherwise, they're really kind of gimmicky as well. Let's see if we can't get this little thing out of here. Really doesn't want to. There we go. Oh, there's our little antenna. So here we are. There's its little coiled up antenna. Might work better if the antenna wasn't coiled up and instead was sticking out straight. That could be one issue, just a little circuit board. But they do the really weird thing that you see in some Chinese electronics. We can see the chips inside here have been sanded so that you cannot read what they are. Really cheesy. Only reasons I can really think of that is either one, they're using knockoff chips and they're standing them so they don't get in trouble for that, for copyright issues, or two, they're trying to prevent other people from just building an identical circuit by just reading what chips these guys are using. Anyway, that's all is inside one of these things. You know, it's supposed to work, but it's really just not effective at all. Not effective at all. If you really want to find where a radio signal is exactly coming from on whatever frequency, that would be a spectrum analyzer, because then you can see the radio frequency, you can see its strength, you can turn in different directions to see the signal strength, etc. But those things are obviously way more expensive than one of these. It's just a shame. This is kind of a neat little idea. Just too bad it doesn't work. Anyway, I really appreciate everybody watching and subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Until next time, Catus Maximus out. Just adding this at the end, I decided to go and straighten out the antenna and route it through the little LED hole there. And it just continuously beeps from the moment you turn it on. And it seems that unless it's actually curled up, it won't stop. And I did get it to stop once just by doing that, but just by fiddling with that antenna a little bit, it really sent it off into a loop. There actually is a little potentiometer back in the side here too. Let me just get this back out of here if I can. There we go. There's come on. Right there under that inductor there is, and I twisted that around and it didn't seem to make much of a difference. So it would take more of an electronics person than me to figure it out.